myself, Soccer Sanchez, here with Stuart.
Hello there. Pleasure to see you guys.
Stuart's come back again for another bit of conversation, a bit of chat about what's happening this week. Okay, and this week our feature game will be the Italian clash between Napoli and Juventus. Napoli currently sitting in top of the table on 56 points, with Juventus on 54. So this is going to be a big top of the table clash. Stuart's got his game face on, as you can clearly see. So as always, when we do these things, we normally play a FIFA 16, have simulated the game. So I've done that for you guys to kind of give us another perspective on how the game might finish. And you know, by the end of a few of these episodes, we'll see whether or not FIFA is a good simulation of this. Anyway, so let me just get this underway. Give me 1 second. You better take this away, mate. I think he's enjoying this a bit too much. Right, so let me just take this thing off his face, because I was going to say it's not a good look, but it might be a better look than so. Turn around completely, so just cover your face.
What, cover my face?
Turn around, because when you cover your face it disappears. There we go, it's gone.
There. Back here, guys.
Anyway,
here.
Technical hitch.
Back on it.
Right, so here we go. Napoli versus Juventus. Sorry, Juventus versus Napoli at the Juventus Stadium. As you can see there, the game is just about to kick off online. And I mean, generally, what can you tell us about Napoli and Juventus this season, from what you've seen anyway?
Well, Juventus started off very badly. They lost quite a few of their first games. And since they went through that bad run of form, they've really kicked on into another gear now, and they've won the last 14 games. I watched the game last week against, I think it was Chievo, and yeah, they're really rampant. They could Quadrado on the right wing, along with Dybala, constant threats. It's a team that's really kicked on since last season, I think. And Napoli, they've been consistent all season, being at the top three places. In the league, and with Higuain, well, you know, he's red hot in form at the moment. 24 goals. He's further ahead than I think the second place is Dybala with 13 goals, and you can see that there's definitely something good going well with Maurizio Sarri's team at the moment. So this will be, I hope, a great game. And well, once he's put the simulation on, we'll see how this turns out. So
let's have a quick look at the formation, or the probable lineups. Now Chiellini is suspended. Well, he's injured for this game, I should say. So Juventus normally play a 3-5-2 formation. I think in this particular game they're going to abandon that. They don't think they're going to risk Rugani playing at centre back. Such a young defender, such a big game. More likely he's going to put Barzagli and Bonucci in the centre back positions. Which will mean a welcome back to Lichtsteiner, who is a prominent figure on the Juventus right wing back position. Pogba, Marchisio and Sturaro looks like he will be making an appearance in this game. And if you notice that Quadrado playing on the right wing there with Morata on the left wing, it's very likely that Quadrado is going to tuck back a little bit on a 4-4-2 formation, allowing Morata and Dybala running through the middle. Slight tactical change for this game due to that suspension to Chiellini, such a big part of that Juventus team. And you know, they will be looking for another fifth consecutive Serie A title. Yeah. If they do beat Napoli, they will go on top. If we have a quick look at the Napoli team now, their fortunes have changed quite a lot actually, considering that the start of the season they weren't doing too well. They too had a bad start, just like Juventus. I think Juventus's last defeat was to Sassuolo a few months back, and they were actually 12th place there. Since then, Juve have gone 14 games straight, winning 14 games in a row. Napoli, on the other hand, again on great form, 8 wins in a row for them. So they're in fantastic form. So it will be a big game. If you notice there, top of the tree there, Higuain, fantastic season this year, 24 games and 24 goals. Some people are saying he's been as influential as Maradona was back in the 80s, which is true. I mean, he scored an amazing amount of goals. Yeah. And if you consider that second place is Dybala, again, fantastic player, Dybala, Argentine strikers, very young, very skillful. I loved him when he was playing for Palermo. I love him even more now when he's at Juventus. But if you consider he's been in great form, he's second on the goal scorer at Pichichi.
Pichichi, no, that's the La Liga.
That's La Liga.
La Liga, just got the wrong league there.
Anyway, so his second place top scorer in the Italian league, and he's on 13. Now you consider, Dybala's on 13. when you consider Higuain's on 24, it just goes to show how in form he actually is. Now, as always, technical hitch again.
And it's not just him, it's Callejon has also been chipping in with quite a few goals. On the right wing, constantly a threat down that wing, crossing for Higuain all the time. He's supply for Higuain. They've got a great chemistry on the pitch, as you can see in a lot of their games. There's a great link up there all the time.
Cavani's had a fantastic season as well. He's been really on form for Napoli. Another thing I was going to mention, Napoli are actually the top scorers of Serie A, and Juventus have the best defence. So it will be an interesting contest to see, who's going to come out on top. Napoli, Juventus obviously have the advantage of playing at home, but you never know. This is football. This is Serie A. It could swing either way. It will be an interesting game to say the least.
Do you think that with Juventus' experience, that might outweigh Napoli's attack?
With Juventus' experience, sorry?
There's the experience at the back in terms of the defence.
When it's...
Do you think it'll be keep out Napoli's?
Yeah.
attack?
I mean, losing Chiellini is a huge problem for Juventus. He's been such a mainstay at the back of the defence. Yeah. But in all honesty, it's going to be hard to predict that because of the way Higuain is actually playing. As I said, 24 games, 24 goals, fantastic form. But again, Barzagli and Bonucci are well equipped to be able to stop that. As I mentioned, considering the fact that they are, the highest scorers of Serie A, it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do. And again, although Juventus are extremely flexible, 4-4-2 formation, 4-3-3.
Yeah.
It might make a difference. It might make a difference in the way that they play, and how successful they're going to become at the end of this game. But yeah, no, it's a good question really, because as I mentioned, the shape will change, and hopefully for Juventus' sake, they can continue their good form. Either way, it's going to be a fantastic game. Someone's going to lose their record. It will just be interesting to see who fails to win, essentially. Yeah. If we have a look at the match stats here, we've got Juve have won, as I mentioned, 14 of the last 14 games. Napoli 8 of the last 8. We have Juventus have kept a clean sheet in the last 5 matches in Serie A, whereas Napoli have scored at least 2 goals in the last 6 away matches. Now, while this is playing, let me just fix this camera, because that's not part of the plan. Bear with me, people. Technical hitch. Live TV, you gotta love it. Right. There we go. There we go.
A man of many talents.
Man of many talents. There we go. Soccer Sanchez. There we go.
Been a long, hard week.
Been a long, hard week, yeah. Right. So anyway, big game. I mean, your thoughts really on the clash? Anything in particular?
I just think if they
looking forward to watching.
Oh, definitely, I'll be watching now. It's going to be an action-packed Sunday, and I just think that if they keep Higuain quiet, they've got a great chance to win this game, Juventus. I think Juventus will probably edge it. They've got just too much quality at the moment with Pogba running things in midfield, and Dybala in good form as well. It's just the key is in keeping Higuain quiet. And if they do that, then they've got all the chance in the world to win this game. So that's my view at the moment.
So another couple of facts as well here. Juve has scored at least 2 goals in 8 of the last 10 home matches against Napoli in all competitions. So I mean, we looked at the whole City Burnley game last week, and we threw in a bit of historical facts there, and they actually came into play because the game last week we predicted to be a low scoring game. Burnley came up 1-0 winners. So yeah, again, this best defence, best strike rate in the league. Who knows what's going to happen? I think the formation change will be a huge factor as to how Napoli come out on this. I mean, Napoli love the wings. Since they've used Callejon and Insigne on the left and right wing, it's made a massive difference to their game. They were playing 4-2-3-1 at the start of the season. Didn't really work out with them. Changed to 4-3-3. Different player Higuain has been since that tactical change, and Callejon, I think you mentioned it as well.
Yeah, he's also chipped in
really good player. I mean, I was really impressed with him when he was playing for Real Madrid in the Champions League a few years back, and First season at Napoli started off very well, suffered an injury. This season now he's kicking on very well. He's getting down the wings, and Napoli really are playing a fantastic counter-attacking game. It will be an interesting game tactically anyway.
Also, not to forget, Morata's also another former Real Madrid player. So, and also he's chipped in quite a few goals this season. And Massimiliano Allegri, I remember a few weeks back, was saying how vital he's been to the team and his work rate. So he's another one to watch out for. So I think he would also be within the shout to score a goal. Him and Dybala, great chemistry on the pitch. So watch out for that. Watch out for him.
Yeah, Dybala. I think Dybala's going to be. Dybala and Higuain are going to be the main players here. Obviously, I keep talking about defensively how the formations changed. Well, it most probably will change for this match. But the key will be Dybala versus Higuain here. With Higuain being in such a good form, it's going to be a massive upset, despite the fact Napoli are top. Massive upset if Napoli actually do come out winners at Juventus' ground. When you consider players like Pogba, Marchisio, experienced players like Evra, Lichtsteiner. This is a strong Juventus team, regardless of the fact that Chiellini isn't playing. But yeah, the two managers, the two Tuscan-born managers, are gonna really go at this, and I'm not gonna want to lose this game whatsoever, or lose any pace at the top of the league.
What I've been impressed with a lot of the games in Serie A this season is the amount of goals being scored by these teams. Everyone's saying how Serie A is a dying league, that players don't want to go there. I think it's coming back coming back to its glory days, and we're seeing a lot of goals in a lot of these games. Very open, expansive football, especially Inter Milan. Inter Milan against Verona last week was a 3-3 game, and you can see that right now there's lots of goals in Serie A at the moment, and it's nothing like what it was before. Like it was being portrayed as being a very boring, defensive, tactical game. We're seeing it's much more expensive.
Yeah, I mean it's still a tactical game in Italy, but they have, you don't get the 1-0s and the tight games that they used to be back 15, 20 years ago. Now the game is a lot more open. As I mentioned, Napoli, their kind of tactics are more Premier League based in a way, very similar to the way Leicester play. I mean, not exactly the same way, but that counter-attacking style is really a part of their blueprint this year. Another team like AC Milan, when they have done well this season, have used that counter-attacking style. Again, that wasn't necessarily the case back in the day. Knock the ball about, not so much tiki-taka, more about the set plays, the crosses, the strength. To be fair, the diving, the shirt pulling. There is some of that still, but it's a lot more, I shouldn't say European based, but it's a lot more like that free-flow attacking football that everyone seems to love these days. So yeah, it is interesting, and I do like the fact that in the Italian league, as I mentioned, very tactical league, they don't play the same formation as the majority of, for example, Premiership clubs do. 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3 is basically all they do over here. I think maybe Southampton, Leicester. Leicester probably the only team really that can kind of change it up and play a 4-4-2, which is rare these days for managers to be playing. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it, actually. It'll be a really good one. And I mean, my prediction personally, mainly for the pure fact that, another fact for you, Juve haven't lost to Napoli at their ground in the last 5 meetings, and that will be significant, in my opinion, to how this goes along. 1 second. What's happened here? Right, there we go. So the video finished abruptly there. The video finished 2-0 Juventus.
Could be a sign of things to come.
It could be a sign of things to come, yes, that's very true. Just bear me 1 second just to make sure